All right, guys, this is Troy with the AC Guys again. Today we are at the Palomino Gentlemen's Club, and we are working on a couple of their walk-in coolers. This one here that we're looking at is for the keg cooler, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. What you see on the wall here is a KE2 temp and defrost sensor. So this is basically a digital thermostat with also defrost control on these units. So as you can see here, if you were to go in and grab a beer right now, it'd be poured in your glass at 36.7 degrees. So I'm going to go ahead and play this and just kind of walk you through. And we'll pause this right here. You can see right here, and here, and here are 4 different buttons. So there's a lot of different settings that we can go into on this control to monitor the temperature of the box of the cooler. We can change the defrost times. If we had heat strips on this, we'd control the heat strips for the defrost. And the biggest benefit, besides just being digital and programmable, is that it will also send alerts if the temperature inside of the box gets either too warm, meaning either it's not cooling or it's not coming out of defrost, or is too cold, meaning it's not going into defrost, and presents a different challenge in that the coil, the evaporator coil on the inside, can freeze up. It'll ice over, and then it will restrict the airflow, and I'll kind of show you what I'm talking about once we go inside this box here. And it will cause a no cooling condition as well. So this system is basically a smart system that monitors everything that's going on, and in the event of any undesirable conditions, it will send a text alert or email to basically to anyone who needs to know or should know. On this particular customer, again, being the Palomino, they've been a customer of ours for probably the past 5 or 6 years. We've been taking care of all their heating, air conditioning, and refrigeration. So with this, we have these alerts also sent to us directly, so that if their cooler goes down in the middle of the night, we get the alert and we send a tech out. So as you can see in this cooler, this is where they keep the beer and wine. This is at 36 degrees. So same thing. You want to go enjoy a cold beer, you can see what'll be served to you at. So we're going to walk inside the cooler now. Well, in just a second here. And what we're going to see right here is this is the temperature sensor. So this sensor runs from here inside the box, and then you can see this wire basically goes back out and connects into that KE2 temp sensor that's on the outside. So I'm going to go ahead and move forward here. We had to redo all of the electrical on this. As I stated before, the original thermostat was an analog thermostat. If you think about something similar to the old thermostats were on the wall that had a mercury, that was kind of the equivalent thermostat. So this is a big upgrade on this system. So we're going to come forward a little bit, and I'm going to go ahead and pause right here. Right here is where the old thermostat was. There were wires kind of going everywhere. We also removed, and actually I don't remember what it was, but there was something sitting right here also. And so what I was talking about though, just a minute ago with the coil icing up, is behind this fan is basically, it looks like a radiator, but it's the evaporator coil. And it has the cold refrigerant running through it, and so it's going to basically look like this. And all these green lines has the cold refrigerant running through it. And so as the fan is sucking air basically from all around, so it'll come in from the side over here, comes in from the side behind it, and then now out through across that cold coil. And it's doing that from everywhere inside this cooler. It's sucking it up and bringing it out here. So what happens is if it doesn't go into defrost or if it's low on refrigerant, what will happen is the coil will basically start to cover in ice. And so, oops, didn't want to do that. So it'll start to cover with ice, and when it does that, as you can see, the air can't get through, and now it creates a non-cool condition, even though it's basically a block of ice. So again, this sensor, this Key 2 or KE2 temperature and defrost control monitors the system. Both of these coolers are tied into the same LDA, which is basically the dashboard for this. And so we've had to run not only the new electrical to power these units here, including our sensors, but I'm going to go ahead and fast forward here. And let's just kind of skip through, and we'll kind of take you for a little bit of a walk through the Palomino to one of the electrical control rooms and data rooms. So, and I'm going to keep talking over this because I actually said a cuss word right here when Art was asking me a question. So we'll just keep moving forward. And now we're in through this next door and into the electrical and data room. And you're going to see they have a lot of stuff going on here. They have a lot of equipment in this establishment. It's an older establishment, and as they've done upgrades, as they've added new equipment, everything comes into this room. So there's a lot going on here. So this was part of the challenge in us getting our LDA, which you can't see it in this picture, but it's basically sitting on the other side of this tower right here is where it's wired in. And so both of the KE2 sensors that you saw on the boxes basically send data into this dashboard. The dashboard analyzes it, and if needed, will send out text and email alerts. So this is great for restaurants, basically anybody with refrigeration, and especially companies that close in the middle of the night, because when you don't have employees there, if your equipment goes down, you're not going to know that from basically until from when the time you left the night before until the time somebody comes in the next morning to open a store. So you could have a period of several hours where your coolers are not cooling, which could lead to food loss, beer loss, anything that you keep refrigerated. So with this kind of system set up, and especially if it's tied into the contractor, such as we are with Palomino for their refrigeration, if we get a text alert in the middle of the night, we know that we need to be there first thing in the morning. So it's a really great system. So if you guys are interested or have any questions or have any refrigeration or heating and air conditioning needs, give us a call. AC guys, 702-331-3333.